Alrighty. It is time for our rest day. Um, and I apologize if these videos may seem a little out of order or a little out of the usual order. I've been dealing with some camera problems recently, but today we will talk about uh, not just forming good habits, but like where habits lead, if that makes sense. Um, More in the sense of your habits. Your habits define what your actions will eventually be, and it can be applied to a lot. It's going to be applied to probably more of a gym perspective at the beginning, and we'll talk about how it applies to like just your daily life and discipline in general. But um, we'll try to focus on the gym aspect of it. So let's do our first couple sets. We'll talk about it more when we do cable crunches. So. My pants are falling down. Alrighty. So let's get the initial points out of the way. This topic is by no means saying that like you cannot change, and I think that's a very big or a very bad habit that we've developed just in general. People in general have developed this habit of or this mindset that they cannot break their habits, that they are trapped in this state of like repetitiveness, and that no amount of discipline can get them out of it. And not only is that mindset just completely false, but it keeps you thinking a certain way about yourself, where you perceive yourself in a negative sense, not just in action, but in terms of accomplishment, in terms of worth. You see yourself in a negative light because you have this recurring pattern of doing something you may not necessarily want to do. But I want to remind you guys that does not mean you cannot change, right? Repeating a mistake, is that a bad habit? Yeah, of course. But that does not mean that you are trapped in that, in that box. Hold on, let me get some water first. However, what we will be talking about in this is the way that habits affect your discipline. So let's talk about the gym aspect. When you are first starting out in the gym, it is very easy to develop bad habits, even very small ones that you take with you throughout your entire lifting career. For instance, A good example of this is a bad habit a lot of people seem to take. And this is very minor, but it's not resting in between sets long enough. Now I know what you might be thinking. Oh, but like you only need like, I'm feeling okay after like a set. I'm ready to go. Blah 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 blah. The pre-workout's hitting hard. All that's fine and dandy. That's great. That's great. But the reality is, your physical body and your mental like state are two different things, right? We always talk about how, your mind gives up first before your body does. And you can kind of flip it in a sense where you can say like your mind is, if you train it well, right, your mind will be ready for the next set. And that's not a bad thing. But what we need to remember is that our bodies do need some form of adequate rest or some like downtime in between those sets in order for them to recover properly and actually be ready for that set. And although you might like mentally be ready for it, your body might not be. And if you keep continuously doing that over long periods of time, you eventually leave some gains on the table because you've done it so often that 1% eventually accrues to like 50% over years and years and years and years of doing it. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be perfect, but you have to strive to be better, right? You have to want to improve even on the little things. Now, we're actually going to do one more set here, one more set off camera, and we'll probably do some cable crunches, and we'll talk about the life aspect of it more over there. But it's just one example of the gym aspect of it. So hopefully that helps in some way. Okay, one more off camera. Alrighty, so let's talk about the other aspect and continue our conversation. So, how do your habits, affect your daily life? Well, we can kind of just apply the same amount or the same logic that we get from gym stuff to, in the real world. If you're not consistent in the gym, if you're not consistent with your habits, building good habits, making sure you're on top of things, what happens? You don't make progress, right? Or at least you don't make progress that you can be proud of in that sense. And the same logic can be applied to, real life. The longer you hold on to those habits that don't benefit you, the longer you're going to stay stagnant in whatever aspect you're trying to do. Whether it be your career, whether it be your relationships, just in general. We have to be reflective in the actions we take, whether or not something is benefiting us, not just like emotionally, but benefiting us in the sense that it's making us a better person, right? Making us someone that's improving upon themselves in a meaningful way. A good example of this would be like, going out drinking and getting drunk. Now, I'm not saying drinking is bad. Everything in moderation is okay. But if you're constantly going out and blacking out, right? You're going out, you're getting messed up with your friends. I'm sure you feel the results of that later on in the day. It's not just the hangover, right? It's the, maybe some missed responsibilities that you have to take care of. And those little things eventually do add up, just like those little habits that we have in the gym where, we need to improve upon. Those things in our life eventually do catch up to us, right? Those little moments in time where we choose to do something we know we shouldn't do, those catch up. So hopefully you guys can understand. It's not me trying to be harsh or me telling you to be perfect, but we do have to strive for improvement. We cannot stay in this state of acceptance, not acceptance, but more complacency, where you understand that what you're doing may not be benefiting you in the long run, and you choose to do it anyway. A lot of people are going to say, oh, well, that's not fun. I'm young. I want to live my life, whatever. And I'm sorry to say, but those are the people that aren't going to make it very far. It's one thing to live your life and have fun, and it's another thing to forego responsibility. You can have fun and be responsible. It's not a foreign thing. There are plenty of people that do it. It's just your choice whether or not to do so, right? No one's going to force you to make the wise decisions. When you have parents, that are taking care of you, that care about you, they can only tell you up to a certain point. Even your parents, right? They can only tell you up to a certain point what to do. Eventually, you become an adult, and your choices are just you. You don't have to run it by anyone, right, to make that decision. So we have to start now, right? We have to start in this moment where we not only are in this space where we have those people behind us telling us what, looking out for us, making sure that we, that they know what's best for us. But because we need to start early, right? Developing habits takes time. In as much time that it took to develop the bad habits, it takes probably double the amount of time to get rid of them and then build new ones, right? Build new habits that are good. So the earlier you start, the easier it will be. But hopefully that puts some perspective onto what you guys need to be doing. And if you're feeling any conviction or you're feeling like, hey, he's calling me out, don't take it as me judging you. Take it as, a wake-up call and be like, hey, maybe I actually do need to look at myself. I am in no way judging you. I myself have bad habits, but I need the purpose of this channel or this, this journey is to show you guys that you can be better. And if I'm not pushing you to be better, then what am I doing? Really? I'm not fulfilling the purpose of what this is for. I want to see you guys better than me, And if you do end up being better than me, good on you. But it's not coming from a perspective of, oh, I'm better than you, right? It's none of that, especially because I'm so young. I'm only giving you what I know. So take that with a grain of salt. Alrighty. This cough needs to go away, I swear. Let's do our set. We'll do one here, one off camera. We already did our warm up, and then we'll go do some decline sit-ups to finish things off. That's heavy. Nope. Ow. Ow. All right. one more off camera. Okay. Oh, perfect. This one over here. So we'll do this, and we'll do our check-in. So hopefully, you guys took something away from this. Just remember that I'm honestly just giving you guys my opinion. So just take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to take it as fact. You don't have to take it as anything. But if you do take it some way, take it as someone who's just trying to see you guys improve. I'm trying to help in any way possible. So. My headphones are gonna fall. Stupid headphones. I got it. Nope. All right. Stupid. The microphone. Stuck. Nah. I wasn't gonna get up after that one. Okay. One more off camera. We'll go check things out. Alrighty. This is how we are looking today. Arms are looking more full, actually. If you did enjoy the content, or if it was helpful in any way, please drop a like and subscribe. I needed to burp. And I'll see you guys in the next video.